A woman was alone in her apartment when she heard something that made her blood stop. A voice whispering her name, not someone outside, not her neighbors. The voice was coming from inside her walls. But here is what terrified her the most. When she finally answered back, the voice said something only one person in the world knew. A secret from her childhood that she had completely erased from her own memory. The question is not whether the voice was real. The question is how it knew. And we will get to it. This is a true account. Names have been changed. Some details have been altered to protect the family involved. This video is about something most of us never think about until it happens to us. But the core of what happened is exactly as it was told. The invisible line between our inner world and the physical world around us. What happens when something crosses that line? What happens when something from outside knows something from inside? By the end of this video, you will understand why this woman spent the next 6 months terrified of silence. You will know what the voice said, and you will understand why, even now, she refuses to live alone. This is her story. Her name was Rachel. She was 32 years old when this started. Rachel lived in Portland, Oregon, in a downtown apartment she had worked 10 years to afford. She was someone who believed in logic, in facts. She was a data analyst for a major tech company. She dealt with numbers and patterns all day. She did not believe in ghosts. She did not believe in the supernatural. She believed in things you could measure and prove. This matters because it explains why she fought so hard against what was happening to her. It was a Tuesday night, late, around 11 o'clock. Rachel was in bed reading when she heard it. A sound so soft she almost missed it, like someone whispering from very far away. Her name. Just her name. Whispered. A pleasant nothing. She checked her phone. No mensajes. She got up and checked the apartment. Doors locked. Windows closed. Nothing.
Who's there?
She went back to bed, thinking it was nothing. A sound from outside. A neighbor downstairs. Her mind playing tricks.
Who's there?
But it happened again the next night. The whispers started happening every single night. Always the same air. From somewhere inside the walls. Sometimes from the bedroom. Sometimes from the living room. Always when she was alone. Always after dark. She tried everything. She told herself it was pipes. Old buildings make noise. She told herself it was the neighbors. Sound travels differently through walls at night. She told herself it was stress. She was working too much. Her mind was tired. But then something changed. The whisper was no longer just saying her name. It started adding words. Rachel. Come here, Rachel. I know you, Rachel. I remember. She called a plumber, checked the walls. Nothing was wrong. She called a priest. He said there was no spiritual disturbance. She went to a doctor. He said she was stressed and recommended sleep medication. But Rachel knew what she was hearing. She was not imagining it. She was terrified, but she was also angry. She was angry at herself for being terrified. And so one night, about 2 weeks after the whispers started, she did something brave. She answered back. She said, "Who are you? What do you want?" And the voice went silent. For 3 days, there was nothing, just silence. Rachel thought maybe it was over. Maybe speaking to it had made it stop. Maybe the fear had been worse than the thing itself. But on the 4th day, the voice came back, and it said something that changed everything. The voice whispered a name. Not her name. Another name. A child's name. Emma. Rachel went cold. Emma was her best friend in elementary school. They were inseparable for 2 years. Then Rachel's family moved away to a different state. She lost contact with Emma, and eventually, she forgot about her completely. Not forgot. Buried, she had not thought about Emma in more than 20 years. The voice said more words. It said, "You promised me. You left me. You never came back." Rachel's hands were shaking. She had promised something to Emma. A secret promise. One afternoon, they had been playing by the playground fence. Emma had told Rachel something that no one else knew. A fear. Something deeply personal. And Rachel had promised that she would never tell. That she would remember. That they would be friends forever. Rachel was 9 years old. Emma was 8. When her family moved, Rachel did not leave an address. She did not write letters. She simply moved on with her life, and she forgot her promise. She forgot the secret. She forgot Emma entirely, until this voice started reminding her. But here is the part that changes everything, and we will get to it. Because Rachel knew something that terrified her even more than the voice itself. Emma died when she was 19 years old. She had died 23 years ago. More than 2 decades before these whispers started. Rachel had found out through a mutual childhood friend who had mentioned it casually at a high school reunion. A car accident. Tay. Patsy. Tracy. Rachel had felt sad for a moment. Then she moved on. But now, a voice that knew things only Emma could know was whispering from inside her walls. After that night, the whispers became more specific. The voice would say things Emma had said. It would reference conversations from school. It would mention the name of the teacher they both had.
How do you know that
It
name?
would say the childhood nickname that only Emma had called her. One night, the voice said, "You were supposed to protect me." Another night, it said, "You promised." Rachel could not sleep. She was not eating properly. She told her family something was wrong, but she could not explain what. She could not tell them about the voice, because how would she explain it? She moved hotels for a week. The whispers followed her. She went to stay with her sister in Seattle. The whispers came to her sister's apartment. She went to her parents' house in California. The whispers were there too. There was no escape. No distance that mattered. The voice was not bound by her location. It was bound to her. But then one night, something shifted. The voice sounded different. Not angry anymore. Sad. Almost like it was fading. It whispered, "I just wanted you to remember me. I needed someone to know my name again." And then Rachel understood something that changed how she felt about everything. Rachel stopped running. She went back to her apartment in Portland. She sat in the dark. and she talked to the voice like it was a real person. Because, by then, she understood something that science and logic could not explain. She did not know if this was Emma's spirit. She did not know if it was her own guilt speaking to her. She did not know if it was something entirely different, something beyond the categories we use to understand the world. But she knew one thing for certain. The voice was trying to tell her something. She spent the entire night talking. She asked about Emma's life. She asked about the secret she had made Emma tell her. She apologized for abandoning her. C'est crier. She grieved for a friendship she had forgotten she had lost. And she told Emma that she would not forget again. Around dawn, the whispers stopped. Completely. Not just that night, but permanently. The voice never came back. Rachel researched Emma's death. She found Emma's family on social media. She contacted them. They had never known that Rachel was Emma's friend. Rachel did something she should have done decades ago. She acknowledged Emma's life. She told Emma's family about the girl she had been, about her kindness, about her seeness, about the way she left. Rachel kept a photograph of Emma in her bedroom, and she learned something profound, something that changes how you see the world once you understand it. The things we bury do not disappear. They wait, and sometimes they find a way to speak. This is a story about remembering, about the people we lose, and how forgetting them can hurt us in ways we do not expect. If you have a similar story, if something unexplained has happened to you, leave it in the comments. We read every single comment on this channel, and if you want more stories like this one, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because we upload every single day. This has been True Horror. Thank you for listening.